Let's talk about the cell cycle, which is pretty much the life cycle of the cell. Just like you have a life cycle, right, from birth to goodbye, so does the cell. The cell is going to have a cycle, a life cycle. So the cell cycle is going to be the sequence of events from the time a cell is created until its own division. And we're going to separate this into two main phases, or I'm going to put it two main big phases, because eventually we'll have subphases. So the first one, Roman numeral number one, interphase. Interphase is going to have three subphases in a way. So interphase is going to have a G1 phase, okay, and this is only interphase, which we call it the first gap. There is S phase. S stands for synthesis. This is S phase because this is the synthesis of DNA. Which is the same thing as DNA replication, which is kind of the same thing I talked about in my previous video. And then we have the G2. The G2 phase is mostly the cell getting ready for cell division. Okay, so we call it the second gap. And just so you understand what this interface is all about, is just think of it as an interface as when the cell is doing its normal functions. Whatever the cell's supposed to do. All right. And then we have the M phase. Roman numeral number two. This is the M phase. And the M phase has two subphases. We have mitosis, which is also known as nuclear division. And we have cytokinesis, which is a division of the cytoplasm or cytoplasmic division. Okay, so the phase is mostly when there is the cells about to divide. Cell divides. All right, so keep that in mind as we go through the next slide. The two main phases of the cell cycle, interphase, cell is doing whatever it's supposed to be doing. Also, it's going to start getting ready for cell division. So it's going to have to make a copy of DNA and get ready to divide. And then eventually we end up with the M phase where the cell is going to have to divide into two daughter cells.